The Lekker Rugby Pod Instant Reaction with Harry Jones. Only on Megafoon Rugby.
The wonderful thing about being a Stormers fan, hello Lekker Rugby Pod fans, is that you get such a workout during a match, you know? The incredible cycles of emotion, trying to understand the hieroglyphics of Warwick Galant's game, passing to himself, dam breaks of sheer genius, and then madcap tomfoolery. The only team that actually we ever play proper rugby against, and there were moments of proper rugby, not goof troopery, is against the Bulls. You know, playing the weather. Yuri, really come of age kind of match there. Just sticking to it, finding the awkward spots to land the ball, and then Evan Roos, keeping, his big wide tracks on the ground, plowing through the mud. 1916 in the end. How did it get there? There was some vicissitudes of rugby, some ebbs and flow, but one thing that was constant was the scrum, was the bane of our existence. Decades now, for at least 12 years, the Stormer scrum has been the bedrock, the bulwark of everything good that's happening. Today, the scrum 1, scrum 2, scrum 3, scrum 4. I mean, there were some strange calls in the very beginning, but in the end, there was no doubt. The Bull scrum was running through us. Normally, when you give up 5 scrum penalties in a match, maybe we were 6, that's as bad as being charged down 5 times, or having 5 line breaks beyond your cover defense, or 5, completely lost lineouts. It's killer. 5 scrum penalties usually result in a card or something. So in the end, it was Stormers surviving the very thing that they've built so much of our good rugby on. It's the scrum. Counter-ruck was key. In weather like that, I think you need a counter-ruck. Stormers did it at the beginning, and especially Roos himself at the kickoff, where Willie takes a kickoff isolated. Willie seemed isolated all day, emotionally, positionally, and just seemed in one of his bad grumpy moods. I like his good grumpy moods. But yeah, Fouché had no answer at scrum. He was getting split off from Joe Dweba, who actually did handle the lineouts. There was one particularly super long lineout to Ben Jason Dixon. Ben Jason Dixon was a hard worker, and that's the kind of thing, if you have a hard-working guy, it can survive weather challenges. Let's talk about the people that the Bulls are missing, because it's fair. Elrich Lowe, massive miss in a weather day like today. Big tracks, wide, solid, like only else at golf. Doesn't matter if it's windy or rainy. Marcel Coetzee, big carrier. Cameron Anekom, who's been basically the basis for outside 22 attack, the super red zone, gone. So Roos was kind of unopposed in a way. He ran free. When I think the early sparring phases, you could see, even though it was 3-all and 6-3 and 6-all, you could tell whenever there was space, and there was an ability for either Ben Jason or Ifan to Roos to run, it was bad. There was some naive rucking by the Stormers at the beginning, wet weather, up one man, and quite frankly, the period of time where Willie was off the field was some of the best wet weather rugby that the Bulls played, until he came back on and they got trapped in the 22 again. Yuri missed one and then got one, and 12-9 at halftime. It felt a bit like fair. It felt like the ebb and flow, besides the scrum penalties, was about right. The Stormers had survived this creaky scrum, and the Bulls had survived the yellow card. So the guys at Stormers are missing Sasha, Damien, Mani. Well, that's obviously just as big as missing Elrich and Marcel and Cameron, but the thing is, Yuri did step up, and especially when the vet came on in the second half, there was a noticeable game management advantage for the Goof Troop. My beloved Stormers, Province, how could they do this? Play kind of dumb all year, and then this one big one, they come good. The Bulls did get what we call momentum, which we now know doesn't really exist in the game. It's just a series of coincidental incidents that we group together to make ourselves feel better, that there's actually a plan or there's some kind of flow. But they had ascendancy, we'll call it, in a spirit of scrappy play. But every time there was a loose ball, it seemed like the Stormers had it. So you had a structure build, which is, if the Bulls could finally get some territory, which they did, off of a 6th scrum penalty, a line out deep, a Stormer penalty and reload, a tap and go from free kick, a full frontal assault. Ruan Farman pile drives over. It was inevitable, and you knew it was going to happen. There was no doubt about it. The problem was there was still the scrappy, slidey, soapy ball running around, and that always seemed like Stormer ball. And sure enough, Galant in his good genius crazy mode scuffs the ball here and there, and Samalani's off to the races with a beautiful football soccer touch. Let's go Liverpool. And then there's the next try. So 2 tries. In the end, it was actually kind of a poetic justice that Roos survives a clean, another clean, a croc roll, a face smash, and an uppercut, and stands tall. Doesn't over-celebrate. Mutvengat just takes the win. Proper win in the derby. Derby's always like this. Doesn't matter. Throw out the records, throw out the log place, throw out everything you think before you come in. Stormer Scrums gets decimated. But in the end, the young playmaker outduels the old fox, and the Stormers take it. Sorry, Bulls fans. Still love you guys. But I have to have some celebrations now. Been sick for a while, for about 2 or 3 days. And so this was the perfect way to get well. And now I'm going to eat a big bull.
The Lekker Rugby Pod Instant Reaction with Harry Jones. Only on Megaphone Rugby.